Alright, let's get this started. Let's go. Welcome to the last part of this Suikoden 3 speedrunning project. Today, it's going to be a short stream, the last stream for a while. I'm going to speedrun Luke's chapter, because why not? First things first, you're going to start at the Trinity site screen that will appear after a 108% run, but before the credits. See that little intro with Lucknot. Suikoden 3 Lucknot, the best one, in my opinion. And this is the bonus content that you get if you recruit all Stars of Destiny in Suikoden 3 before the final war battle. So it's pretty cool. You get to see the story from the villain's point of view, and you actually get to do stuff. Although for the most part, this is just a visual novel where you mash text. You do actually get to fight in some battles and get a little bit creative in Caleria when you have 3 minutes of free time. 5 minutes of free time, sorry. This is more for fun, really. Just messing around. Should only take about an hour. But we'll see. Anyway, first stop is Great Hollow, where the story begins. Start off as Luke. Gonna go south through this little cave. You're gonna trigger a scene here. Mash dialogue. Sarah's gonna cast some sort of magic hallucination spell or something. Not really sure what it is. Yuber's gonna go off and slice up Zepon. And then you're just gonna leave, going right back out the way you came in. So we're outside, and we're going to fight a few battles and then move on to the next location. This is just a series of scenes that kind of progress very quickly through the entire story of the game. First up, we got a group of 4 guards here. Now we're going for speed today, not for flashiness. So if you thought you were going to see some high-level wind magic, unfortunately you're going to be disappointed. Breath of Ice is the fastest spell that you have. And it's one that can take out the entire group in one move. So we're going to be using that. However, we will see some wind magic when Sarah is not available. So look forward to that. Now here's the battle that you're used to seeing when you actually play the game. And this is from Giddo's point of view right here. Now we see what it actually looks like from the enemy point of view. And again, we're going to just throw out a Breath of Ice real quick. end this one in one move. What's interesting is that if Sarah uses Breath of Ice when you're actually playing this game, it's not going to take out your whole team. Gedo and Shiba will remain alive. However, it's slightly adjusted here because you just wiped out everyone. So that's one instance where Luke's chapter doesn't take into account what actually happened when you were running this game. We'll see later at the Flame Champion Hideaway that it does remember what actually happened when you were playing this game, because it will keep track of how many Geizos Gedo has on him. So it really depends on the file that you load. Like if you wanted to do this as optimally as possible, you would load a file where you finish the Fire Dragon fight where no one had any Geizos left on them. But I don't care enough to do the entire, chapters 4 and 5 of the game and manipulate that just to save some time. So we will lose some time because Gedo ended with a lot of Geizos on him when I was doing this run. This is the CVATS file name. That's what this one is based off of. So it is actually kind of interesting how it remembers what happened in the game. Anyway, we don't have Sarah, so we will get to use Luke's True Wind Rune here. And we'll go with Shining Wind, just for fun. It's essentially the same amount of casting time as the Shredding, but it looks cooler, and you don't get to see it very often. It's good enough to wipe them out. We will use the Shredding later. What's up, SRD? Welcome back. Yeah, you're right. Honestly, if you want to... That would be a fun project to do an entire playthrough of Suikoden 3 where you win all these optional battles, just so this chapter will be a lot different. All optional battles %. Part of Suikoden 3 SRD %, which is coming soon. I'll be keeping an eye on you, SRD. Making sure you're working hard on that. If that arrow hit, this could have just ended the entire game right now. Unfortunately, it's a huge miss. So we're going to walk around this corner and choose a very, very important dialogue choice. Maybe the most important in the entire run. I have to kill you. Just kidding, by the way. If you choose option 2, it does take longer, but it's marginal. There's really not a huge difference, SRD. If you choose the second one, it just adds some time, that's all. Now we dusted off some Korean soldiers, and now this is the part in the game where the Zexan Knights arrive to really torch this village. And we'll fight some of them as well. And this is where Sarah casts her Bloodlust spell, which causes Boris to go nuts. We get Sarah back. We're gonna fight these jokers. Uber's talking some shit right there. Again, Breath of Ice, the fastest spell that you have. Good enough to hit them all and kill them all. And now we get to move on to watch a bunch of cutscenes with little to no interaction from me. Ancient Pathway, automatic. Crystal Valley, automatic. Lebuc requires you to walk 30 feet, but it's also automatic. Then we go to Almacanon, and we fight a battle there. And then we go to Claria, where we actually do stuff, because you have 5 minutes before Albert shows up. 5 minutes real time. So we'll get a little creative there. Got some very small differences in names here. I got Ancient Pathway, not Ancient Highway. I know, SRD, I'm sorry I failed you. Too bad the level 4 wind spell takes 1 billion years to cast. Though if you cast it a second time, the animation is cut in half, but even that is still slower than the shredding. So, too bad. Maybe next time. No spoilers, SRD. No spoilers. You gotta stay tuned, man. This might be my favorite stream because this run is about an hour long, which is much better than, 11 and a half hours or 13 and a half hours. So maybe my future project will just be to grind out Luke % runs forever until I get the best possible time. Of course, that would involve me starting a new file with optimal Fire Dragon fight where everyone is left alive with 1 HP at the end. No Jaisos equipped. So if you want to beat my time in Luke %, there you go. Crystal Valley. That's right, SRD. It's just a huge auto-scroller. That's all this is. You want an optimal duel at the end? Free world record. GDQ. Imagine that's where all my fame comes from. Yeah, that's right. Suikoden 3 world record holder and Luke percent. Sub hour time. Either that or submit Suikoden 3 to RPG Limit Break, who has done extremely long runs previously. And then we can have all sorts of donation incentives like do Thomas's chapters, do Luke's chapter, recruit all 108 stars, name the Flame Champion. Imagine all the extra money that can just roll in. The possibilities are endless. Obviously, the big one would probably be to choose the Flame Champion. Anyway, here we are at Labouk. And we will get to see Sarah's running animation, which is my favorite. Look at that crisp movement right there. It's hard to navigate those turns, man, I'm telling you. This is another instance where the game actually does remember what you did, because the dialogue choice chosen by you earlier in the game is the same one that you'll see here. Funny enough. You also need to rely on random encounter luck too, because there's two parts in this chapter, at Serenia and also at Sindar Ruins, where you can get random encounters and you can fail runs. So just keep grinding it out, man, until you get no encounters. Look at Sarah run. Yep, that's very true. They don't know how to climb ladders. Same with Chris when she's wearing her armor. Thank goodness they sent Jetto at the beginning of, Giddu. We're pronouncing it the French way now, with the X at the end. Good thing they sent him at the beginning of Chapter 5, because you end up on that platform in the upper right and you gotta climb down the ladder. If they would have sent Chris, we would have been stuck forever. And that's it. We walked, and then we walked again. Now this segment is done. We will watch the credits at the end, the official credits, and then I'll go over some final thoughts and talk about a few other things. And that'll be it. So only a little over an hour today. This is quite literally the last possible day I have to do something like this. So anyway, now we're here at Almacanon. And we're going to open up with another one-turn battle where we're going to use the shredding. Now use the shredding because Breath of Ice isn't good enough this time. And you go with the shredding instead of Shining Wind because this moves first. If you don't use this, Yumi will use her, I think it's called her Great Hawk Rune or something like that. And she will move first and shoot the hit all arrow attack. So to avoid that, we just cast the fastest spell and end that battle in one move. So if you actually wanted to do Luke's chapter in a run, the amount of time before the last dialogue box in a character's ending and before you can start Luke's chapter when it comes back to the Trinity site screen, it's about 9.5 minutes. And then after the credits afterwards to where you get to the final scene with Leknot is about another 9 minutes. So if you want to go start to finish, you'd add 20 minutes till the final ending scene. And then you'd add about an hour for the chapter. So this is where we actually get to be creative and do something. I may be wrong, but I don't know any other way to trigger Albert into showing up other than to wait for 5 minutes of real time. So we're going to start a timer on my phone here. I've tried staying at the inn multiple times because that sometimes can advance, game time. But I did that 20 times. It still didn't do anything. So if anyone knows, feel free to let me know. First thing we're going to do, though, is go to the rune shop, buy a few Fury runes. I'm going to remove Sarah's Rage because we're never going to use that again. And then we're going to put Fury runes on Luke. And Uber. Uber's not necessary. I just do it because I know the situation I'm going to be in when I get to the battle at Serenia. Hoping for him to crit or do a max damage to wipe out Ghetto. Anyway, then you can go to the item shop and sell off everything because you're not going to need it. You attach the Fury runes over Thunder and Pale Gate because it's just going to remove them and you can just sell them. You're gonna sell Luke's equipment except for the wind accessories because they bump up his wind magic skill. You can sell off all Uber's equipment. You won't need anything. And get all Sarah's stuff off. Except for her water magic ring. Let's talk to this guy. You have an unusual face. Thanks, Ortez. Now we're gonna go to the dojo here. Let's bump up Luke for maximum physical efficiency. Yeah, I assume time does advance in the menus because otherwise it would take a lot longer than 5 minutes. So we're going for accuracy because I'm going to hope for that, again, the upcoming battle to end in one move. Sarah's going to use Breath of Ice, and we're going to hope for physicals from Luke and Uber to wipe out Giddo in the first turn. And we'll just do this for fun because we have time to kill. Even doing everything I need to do takes less than 5 minutes, so we've got time to just mess around a bit. Speaking of time to waste, let's go talk to this guy who's going to lie to me. Say his name is Leonard. Okay, Mike, whatever you say. Last stop. SRD, you called it earlier. I'm going to sharpen some weapons. Bump up Luke to 16. And spend the rest of our money while we're at it because there's no reason not to. And that's all we can do. Still got about a minute. Again, maybe there's a way to trigger Albert into showing up earlier. But if there is, I haven't found it. Admittedly, I didn't spend too much time with this, maybe an hour or so. So maybe there's someone you can talk to, like the random drunk NPC in the bar that will immediately trigger him to come here. Who knows? If only the developers of Suikoden were as nice as the guy from Exit Fate who emailed you all that data. Alright, that's 5 minutes. And right on time. Very important dialogue option here. Don't mash through it, you gotta pick option 2. Otherwise it just kicks you back out and you gotta talk to Albert again. We're off to Serenia, the official name for the Flame Champion Hideaway, in case you didn't know. And we're gonna hope for a clean walk. Just email Konami. You know, I'm gonna try that. Just for fun, because who knows? Maybe they will respond. Dang. Alright, good. There's one encounter. Oh, come on. The worst case scenario, the failed run. Oh. Unoptimal run reset is right. Alright, we did it. Okay, 2 encounters, 1 failed run. I guess that's decent. I don't know. It'd be pretty rare to go through that whole area without an encounter, though. You usually get at least 2. So here we go. If you go back and watch the 108% run where I fight the fire dragon, and you notice my party at the end of that battle is going to be the same as how my party starts this battle. Which makes sense. It's pretty cool that they actually got all that data and just moved it forward to here. Why aren't the chimeras in your party? I have no idea. Because they're right there. Maybe they didn't want to issue battle commands for the chimeras. So I know I'm going to need to attack Ghetto, because he's going to survive this. Chris and Hugo will die. One, two. Oh. Luke with the miss. That bumped up his accuracy too. Damn it, Luke. So there's some time loss there. Time loss with the extra turn. Time loss from the failed run. We're already behind. Yes, that's correct, SRD. I mean, 1 HP isn't, you know, that would be fine, but however much damage Breath of Ice just did, as long as they end the battle with less HP than that, you're good to go. Or even if they did end with higher HP but no Gyzos, you can just use Luke's Shining Wind, and that'll take him out for sure, guaranteed. You'll just lose like 3 or 4 seconds. That's right, SRD. We're all counting on you. can't wait to see the Suikoden 3 SRD % run, which is probably going to be a 24-hour stream, at least. So, stock up on Red Bull and cayenne pepper. You're gonna need it. So we're gonna go back to the ancient pathway. And this time we get to walk through Sindar ruins. And once again, hope we get good encounter luck. Wouldn't that be great if Luke dies as a Star of Destiny? So when you load your save data, the game just ends and you watch the credits. Unfortunately, I think he's one of those Stars of Destiny that cannot actually die. There's a bunch of them. Anyway, need to walk through this place again. Gonna hang a right. I'm gonna hang a right. And that's it. Oh no. Alright, we did it. Can he really die permanently in one? Alright, that's 2 encounters. I know he can't in 2. Could have safety saved right there, but rolling the dice. So 2 encounters, that's probably pretty average. Wow. Well, Konami really messed that up, didn't they? Boss fight versus Jimbo, that would have been cool. You do not get to fight this battle. Probably because you would lose it. I do really like this idea of, seeing the story from the villain's point of view, even if it is extremely condensed. Pretty cool bonus. I mean, that would have been a good idea, because Jimba's basically dead right now. You could have fought him. That would have been cool. Or maybe have a duel, you know? Yuber versus Jimba. Unfortunately, that's the last real thing that we do in this auto scroller of a run. Because from here on out, it's just mash and text at Crystal Valley, mash and text at Labuke, mashing text at Mount Sinai, mashing text at Brass Castle, and then we get to duel our brother. The true last boss of this game. This is the creepy scene. The PS2 amazing graphics, kind of showing you that you're just nothing but a clone created in some sort of floating glass container, I guess. I don't know. Only created as a use for containing other true runes, since people can't have more than one. Well, we're back here again. Even in Luke's chapter, you revisit places that you've already been to. What a scene. Now we get to see this scene. scene to go through. Then we go back to the end of the game. So you don't get to see all the scenes. We don't get to see Sarah taking your rune in Kuput Forest. So it's a little weird how they chose to do this. I mean, they could have put in more if they wanted to. But overall, it's still pretty cool. And after the next duel, we'll let the credits play out. I'll go over a few things, and then that'll be it. Only about 10 minutes left in this little chapter anyway. All right. Let's hope for a good duel. That's why we sharpened Luke's weapon, bumped up his damage skill, gave him a Fury rune. All that makes a huge difference in the amount of damage you do. The fastest you can get is just 2 death blows in a row. And that's enough to end it. Although, it might be interesting to go back to this save. Put, right before the final war battle. Remove all equipment from your brother and see if that also makes a difference. Because I'm not sure where they're getting his stats from. It would be pretty cool if you could end this in one move. So I don't think that's likely, though. We'll stick with the timing rules, though, that stops the timer on the last dialogue, which is when Luke is actually embracing death. Alright, let's go. It's 2 defends in a row. Not a good start. This is good. Check out that damage right there. Now you can end with an attack at this point. It doesn't matter what his response is, because you've got priority, first action. There it is. 4 turns. Not bad. So there it is, the true last boss of Suikoden 3. A new world record, you're right. We're not done yet, though. Still gotta mash through some text. The last dialogue is Luke saying, "I'm convinced now that I too have a soul of my own." Coming up, I don't know, 3 minutes, 4 minutes maybe? We'll see. Although technically the last dialogue would be Leknot's dialogue forgiving him at the Magician's Isle. But that's not till after the credits. So we'll let it play out, though. Unfortunately, you don't get to play as the Wind Dragon in the final battle. So that's a scene everyone's seen before, but maybe not these next ones. Here comes Sarah, arguably the most loyal person in the entire Suikoden universe. Like 4 separate scenes here. It's a little much. All right, coming up here shortly. Dang, dude, sub 58. Amazing time.